was in high school, I worked at this store called C'est La Vie. It was a boutique couture store in Detroit, Michigan. I'm telling you, this is where the who's who came to shop. I remember one time, R&B singer Aaliyah came walking in. I was so excited. And then there was that time when NBA basketball player Grant Hill came in. In both cases, they were both just looking for some help with something to wear. When it comes to working in retail, there really is something special. It's not an easy job. I did it for nearly 5 years in high school and in college. And while the hours were grueling, the joy you feel when you help someone look and ultimately feel their best, that's hard to beat. I recently had the pleasure of having a conversation with one of the shoppers for Sway in downtown Fairhope. They invited me to the store for a try-on session. I haven't been modeling in years, and it was a lot of fun trying on those clothes. Took me all the way back to my days of working in the retail industry when I was a visual manager for Armani Exchange. I've always loved fashion, and if I had a larger budget, I would probably be traveling the world checking out the latest trends. I am curious. What does it take to be a buyer for a successful clothing store? If you don't know, downtown Fairhope is considered a very charming community, frequently visited by out-of-towners. This is one of the shops that stands out as soon as you walk through the town, taking in not only the culture, but the fashion that it reflects. Let's get started. This is Living It Up with Lenice. With over a decade of experience in the fashion industry, Whitney Gordon knows a thing or two about the market buying process, closet editing, and her philosophy on personal style is whatever makes you feel chic and comfy. I stopped by the store for a spring model session. It's something they often do with their shoppers to try out some of the fashion pieces they picked up at market. Whitney pulled out some really fabulous items from the new collection. I had to ask her, what's the approach behind merchandise selection when it comes to predicting upcoming fashion trends? And how does she know what will make a person feel confident? I'm ready to dive into this conversation. And at the core, it's all about the connection between how we look and how we feel. Listen here, Whitney, I am really happy to have you on the podcast. I love fashion. So before we dive in, I always like to start with a brief introduction. Tell people who you are and a little bit about Sway.
I am a mother of two. I am a daughter. I'm a friend. I love helping people with their fashion problems or just any problems in general. I feel like if you have something you're comfortable in and confident in, anything can go your way. I have a degree in fashion merchandising. I feel like most people don't go to college for what they actually work in. And I never intended to actually work in this field. I thought I was going to work in publication, but I kind of took a little detour after having children and being a stay-at-home mom. And one day, a very good friend, Berkeley Delaney, she called me and said, hey, I've had this dream and I've wanted to start a store. Would you be interested in coming with me to Los Angeles on a buying trip? And initially, I was like, absolutely no. I have 2 young children and how can I do this? And I'm so glad that my mom said, go. I did that 1 week with her in LA and it was amazing. I remembered things about myself that I had forgotten, the excitement, looking for great fabrics, learning about the vendors and all these really cool sourcing things.
All right, let's briefly pause there because when it comes to sourcing for a clothing store, there are different methods. You've got trade shows, online marketplaces, consignment, and some boutiques. They all work directly with manufacturers to create custom designs. So you went on this journey and came back with what?
Came back and I still had 2 small children and worked a little bit at the store and a little bit more at the store. Once the kids were in school, I was able to be there even more. It filled a need I didn't even know that I had for creativity, have a creative outlet. And I'm really blessed that she took a chance on me to give me 10 years with her, which have been the most incredible, mind-blowing 10 years.
You said something early on that I thought was interesting. You went into fashion merchandising, but that's not what you wanted to do. Why choose that major then?
I went to Alabama to be a business major. That was just like, what my dad said you could do. Get a business major and then you could do anything. My freshman year, my father suffered a cardiac arrest on the campus while we were at my parents' weekend. He actually ended up passing that week. At the end of the experience and after his death, I told my mom, I don't really know what I'm doing here. I'm not excited about moving forward here. So I think I'm going to come home. She said, you need to go to the campus, do some testing and see what you're interested in. You're going to give it another semester. You're not just coming home. So I did take all those tests that would tell you what you would be good at or what would be interesting to you. And my two were what they've always been, healthcare or fashion. People are, I think, the common thread between the two of those. And so I decided, okay, I don't do really well with blood, so let's go the fashion route. And it was really interesting, like, the classes that I started getting into, like the color theory classes, just were so cool to me. The trade, I love beautiful textiles. It was very artistic to me. And those were the classes that I was super jived about. I did take a lot of classes also in public relations. That was my minor. I have an appreciation for those things because I got a sampling of that. I think that's helped me with my people skills, being a better listener and helping give people what they are, not just what they're asking for, seeing down the tube of what would work best for them on the long haul. So that's how I kind of ended up in fashion. From there, I had to do an internship and I ended up doing it in a publication. Then I worked for Southern Living in the at-home division in Birmingham, and I was a photography coordinator, and that was a dream job. But when I moved south to start my family, I did a little work with some publications here, but I never ended up going back to the publications. So that was kind of my roundabout way of ending up where I never would have imagined.
And it's been 10 years since you took that leap. The name of the store is Sway, which by definition means to swing, rock, bend. It's like a rhythm when you think about it. And that speaks to how clothing can make a person feel. You move differently when you're confident, and clothes play a huge part in that. There's the comfortability from sweatpants and slippers that tells your mind, relax. Or the running shoes and shorts that signal it is time to move. Or the cocktail dress that fits like a glove and has you gliding into a room. It's almost like a costume for the character you're playing. I do want to talk about your expertise when it comes to styling. You are very thoughtful when it comes to picking out pieces, no matter who you're giving advice to. How do you carry that approach into selecting merchandise for a store, and also considering that Fairhope is a resort community, so there's constant change?
Yes, there is constant change here, what being different people through the change of the season. But there is one, I think, tied through of that of Fairhope is the fact that we are like an artist community wrapped around the water here. And so in selecting items when we go to market or when we're having our vendor meetings, I feel like we're always thinking about our climate and the relaxation here. We're looking for incredible fabrics that are easy, movable, travel friendly pieces. I always say, I want something that makes me look pulled together, but I still feel like I'm wearing my pajamas. And that's the key. I want to be in an airport and look my best foot forward, but you can't be uncomfortable. You can't have uncomfortable materials. I feel like we done that into our everyday life here because we can wear dressy flip-flops to dinner. They may be a gold tone and have a little edge to them or a metallic. It's going to be an elevated resort look here. We're always thinking about the fabrics and the comfort. We tend to be a little brighter. No matter the season in the rest of the world in fashion, we're a little more saturated in color. This spring, everything's like butter yellows and light pinks. We'll have those in the store, but we always have those deeper hues with a pop because those are just those fun things that make you think of a sunshine day or something happy. We just try to meet those needs.
I want you to explain what it's like going to market. I have my own wild imagination, and I just envision this massive space where there are just fabrics and clothes and jewelry sprawled out, and everyone's kind of like haggling and wanting to pick out certain garments.
It's not as glamorous as you would imagine. It's a love-hate relationship because you love what you're able to find, but those are the hardest work days. Those days are the longest days that we have. They are so much more intense than a day in the shop. You go in this massive building, and it's just floors after floors of different showrooms. We've been working with these showrooms for over 10 years. And so we have relationships with them, which is incredible. We have a game plan before we get there. We have appointments set up, and it is just run from the moment the market opens in the morning until we are there after the doors close in the evenings, because some of them will still let us cram some extra time in being able to find the best things for you guys. The three of us, Berkeley, Sarah, and I, all go, and it's a divide and conquer situation. We're just trying to optimize our time. And we go from morning to the evening, a reward to ourselves, into this Italian restaurant in Atlanta. For every market trip, we have a reservation the Monday night of market because that is our one reward.
Are the markets you go to always in Atlanta, and why?
So we have hit all the markets. I mean, we've done LA, we've done Dallas. Atlanta is very easy for us to get to. You can hop in the car and be there. You're not having to sit at the airport. So that was the most recent one we were in. You can still see the same showrooms in all these different places. We don't want to have the same brands that are, if you're shopping the block downtown, that you're going to run into the same thing. So that every shop you walk in, make downtown Fairhope a shopping experience versus you go to this one store and you get your things and then that's it. And I don't know, I think that's what's helped to make it's successful.
You say that it's divide and conquer. Is it just because days at the market are limited to X amount of days?
Yes.
How much travel time?
There's so much to see. Not only do you want to go see your showrooms that you always visit, but then you also need time to go out and explore and find new things. There's never enough time. When we go to market, we try to have a game plan. We talk about what is needed, or moving into this season, we did really good in this, and we're seeing that the customer needs are this. So we make a game plan. And so we're hitting them in the places that we know, but also looking for new vendors that can fill the needs of our customers.
So I know that you have already started shopping, or you finished shopping for the fall.
Yes.
In advance for seasons do you have to buy?
So we just returned from market at the beginning of February. It's about 6 months out. So it's funny to think that we were just coming out of fall winter and we were purchasing for fall. At least we were buying sweaters and still thinking about sweaters. It's kind of delayed gratification because sometimes you leave market and you're like, well, that was okay. This past market, when we left, we were so excited. And it was really fun to we were doing a recap afterwards and talk about how we cannot wait for the goodie to arrive. Even though they're not going to be there for 6 months, we're really super pumped about it. It was texture. Like I said earlier, I love all the textiles, the gorgeous fabrics, texture, fur, leather. There's going to be a fringe moment, lots of rich colors, bold prints, which work great with our resort lifestyle. We're really in love with what's coming down the pipe for the fall. If you follow us on social, that's the best way to see what's coming in. I do the photography for our Instagram, and I love to bring in models who are actually walking around, models who shop with us. You guys are living the lifestyle. So rather than having a stock image, I think it's really cool to have you guys doing that. I like to get people in and get the photography done. And then we always, we're fleshing it out through our Instagram, which is at shop_sway. It's just really fun to release those and then let you see what we have found. That's also really fun to us, is to help people pick out new pieces that will extend their wardrobe and not just be like a one and done piece, but something that you're actually going to wear multiple times, multiple ways.
Speaking of layers and items that you can get multiple uses out of, that can help when it comes to your closet space. And I know that that's something that you help people with a lot. Let's talk about that, because I could probably bet 90% of the people listening right now could utilize that service.
Including myself. I even edit myself. Closet edits are one of my favorite things to do because I get to work one-on-one, just like being in the store with our clients. I get to be with the client in their space and help them take what they have and make it their own and help them be the best version of themselves. So for Closet Edit, I take the client through their wardrobe and we work in the current season. Like right now, if we were doing a closet edit for you, we wouldn't think about next fall, winter because we're going into spring, summer. I only want people's mind focused on that because it can be too overwhelming if you do everything at one time. We would start there and then decide what items need to be kept and then let go of. Sometimes that's easy to do, and I'm very gentle with that. If someone loves something, we talk about it while we're going through that process. If the client is trying on, I'm talking through why it works and why it doesn't work. Like, let's say they have on a shirt and we're saying, oh, she's like, I never wear this. I don't know why. And I'll say, actually, you have a smaller bone structure. And so the shirt is wearing you. You're not wearing the shirt. We can, try to tie it up, try to do different things to it. But if it just has too much fabric, it's going to be better if you are buying things that fit your shape and your stature versus trying to take pieces and make them work on you. It's all about finding that balance. We go through the items and find what works and what doesn't. Then we take the items that do work and start building outfit from their existing wardrobe. So as we're going through that, we're making a list of things that may be missing that could actually complete the outfit. I feel like that's where a lot of people are missing out. They've got great items, but if you just have a great shirt, you could put different bottoms with it. This season is all about maybe a wider leg. So you need to define the waist instead of wearing the shirt how you would have worn it before. You're going to actually need to tuck it in and have a belt with it. You have to have these little parts of the equation to be able to complete the look you're wanting to go for. But if you don't have those pieces at your access in your home, you're running around trying to figure it out and wondering why it's not completely clicking and working. And so by making that list, we are together helping guide that person. I will be able to put these outfits together and feel like a perfect 10 every time. I want everybody, when they walk in their closet, to be able to say, okay, I'm going to lunch with friends. This outfit will work great. I have all the things right here. So I'm not going to have to find something last minute and be stressed out about it from head to toe, from undergarments to outfit, shoes, accessories. You have it planned out. And it makes it easier.
I do want to touch on that because I know there are certain people, when he was alive, Steve Jobs, he did not allow himself to spend a lot of mental energy on his outfit. So he just wore one thing all the time. What are your thoughts on that?
I think if it makes you feel wonderful, that's the most important thing. If it makes you feel your most confident, that is more important than anything else. I feel like that's the basis of dressing. I wish I could have had a little time with Steve to help him explore a few other ideas. And it's just like when someone comes into Sway and they are looking for something to wear to a wedding. I love it when they come in with a problem because I love to solve it. But we will pull items that we know will work. And then I also love to pull a few items that are a little bit out of the box that the person would choose for themselves. I get the most excitement out of when someone is like, oh, that's not going to work for me, but they're kind and always try it on. I love our customers. And it's so exciting when they walk out and say, I really doubted you, but oh my goodness. Then they'll go and wear it and say, I had so much fun and got so many compliments on this. And it's just sometimes having that, stepping out of the box just a little bit. I feel like that just gets their creativity going. You guys are our models walking around in the world. If you look good, there's no reason for me to have to sell Sway. Y'all sell Sway.
Is there one item that you strongly feel everyone should have in their wardrobe? And on the opposite end of that, is there one item that you feel you don't really need to have in your wardrobe?
Ooh, my first one's going to be a fashion tool because we are finding that this little invention, which we sell at the store. You can pick it up when they're in stock because we sell out of them so quickly because it's been a game changer with dressing. Let's say your top comes down too far and you're worried about the button opening. If you put the little gun through there, it puts one tiny plastic stitch. It's almost like putting an actual stitch in there and it will hold it together. Or let's say your bra strap is showing. And if you're able to use this little gun to just put two little stitches in it, then you're not worried about your bra strap showing all night. And then another thing that I'm really think is very important is like your undergarments. Spanx has come out with some really awesome underwear, and we're lucky to have it in the store. I am a card-carrying lover of the seamless Spanx underwear. I think it's the greatest ever. Berkeley even got me a shirt for Christmas, in the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation when it says, can't see the lines, can you? They literally are the most comfortable underwear. You cannot see lines. That would also be my second. I can't just pick one. An accessory is something that will personalize an outfit. I can't pick one accessory because that is based off of the person's confidence and their body type and what they feel comfortable with, whether it be a scarf, necklace, or a stack of bracelets. On the other hand, things you should not have in your wardrobe, like I said, fashion is based off of the person. So I just don't want to say, no, this one thing you could not have in your wardrobe because it may actually work for one person, but I'm always happy to help find things that will work for you.
Is there a memorable story that you have? You've been there now 10 plus years. Is there one story that sticks out for you that kind of summarizes the journey that you and the store, the boutique, have been on?
We actually have quite a few clients who started shopping with us 10 years ago. A few of them would bring their daughter in. The daughters were in high school. And I just think it is so wild and amazing that we have walked through all these different stages with these girls and they are still shopping with us. I think that's really neat that style is not just for one age group. I think it's really special that we have gotten to be on this journey with these girls and watch them grow and develop. That's part of our special story.
Where do you see Sway going in the next 5 years?
In 5 years, it's wild. I guess personally, I would love to help grow our reach, give that to customers who are not just in our store, those who are shopping with us online or FaceTime shopping with us, just being able to extend that experience and help them in that way.
What advice would you give to aspiring stylists?
I don't think style is what one person decides is in. It's more, in my mind, what looks best on each individual and makes them feel their most confident. That, to me, is the definition of it. My job as a stylist is to listen to my client and help them incorporate their personality and lifestyle, helping them figure out what would actually work for them versus a look you would see on Instagram or a red carpet. That's just not real life. Sometimes you see something and it looks really good, but that may not work for your body type. And helping them transform into what will work for them. I guess I've always said I don't want anyone to ever say they were dressed by Whitney. I really want people to look at our customers and think, wow, she is her most relaxed, confident version of herself. What makes her that way? The fact that she is feeling that because she is confident in her clothing. I think that is styling success, just that your outfit can complement your confidence. So that would be my advice.
What excites you most? What piece are you thinking, listen, you need to have this?
Oh, if you don't have fur, this is the time to do a faux fur. Like seriously, going into fall. I know it's hard here in the South because we don't get that much time to wear it. It's more of a late November, December, January. But there are just so many really cool faux fur pieces that are out now that are affordable, and it'll just elevate an outfit. What else? I'm thinking back through. So add something fringe into your wardrobe. There's some really amazing fringe.
Bold.
I know. And you think it's bold, but do it in a black. We have this adorable black little mini fringe skirt that's coming in. We have some long ones too. If you take that and incorporate it with all the other pieces of your wardrobe, it's just going to expand it and help it to grow. And if it's a little bit bold, it'll make your wardrobe even more interesting. So I say, take one thing that's a little bold, that would be a little outside of your box.
It's been so neat chatting with you and getting to know more about your passion. Growing up, my dad was always the one who was, you look good, you feel good. He had a clothing company and he was all about the style. And I can hear that in you, the importance of looking good so you feel good.
Definitely. And looking good is not just the most important, but knowing that you've checked that box, then you don't have to worry about it. And you can focus on the other things that you need to take care of.
Is there anything else you want to add?
I was discussing this with my kids last night because I have a son who's in high school and a daughter who'll be there later. We were talking about jobs. I just really feel like God gives us different gifts. And I am so blessed that I got the opportunity to take something that I get excited about and fired up about, and that people appreciate from me, and have the experience where I get to work beautiful, store with wonderful people and get to help people. I get to go along with all the exciting things that are going on with people's lives. Like, they may be getting an outfit to go on a first date, or they may have a big job interview, or they may be attending a christening of their first grandbaby. And it's just so much fun to be a little part of someone's story. I feel blessed that Berkeley took a chance on me and has continued to give me the space to learn and grow. Yeah, talking to my children, I just hope that my hope for them is to find things that get them excited and to follow that, because it will never be a job. It'll always be something exciting, and we're always learning and growing.
My takeaway from this, no falling for trend mania. The best way to navigate fashion is to focus on your personal style. Consider your lifestyle and don't be afraid to experiment. Consider the colors that complement you and your body shape. I used to plaster my closet wall with cutouts from fashion magazines. It helped me to know the combinations to mix up when it came to colors and styling tips for layering, accessorizing. I miss that wall. The knowledge is still there. And as Whitney said, don't be afraid to experiment. Full disclosure, she talked about fringe. I've got a fringe skirt, a suede one too, and I love it.
I just can't thank you enough for the time with you tonight. It's been fun to think through my story.
I have enjoyed listening to it, and thank you for the advice. I think your words will resonate with people, whether they are in high school or in the styling industry, making sure that what you do in your life is something that you truly enjoy. Living It Up with Lanice has been a production of the Foxton Podcast and myself, Lanice Lagan, with the music provided by Kendall Faust. A special thanks to the team at Sway and Whitney for the opportunity. Check out their social media pages where they post about the latest fashion. And thank you for your support and for listening. Until next time.